Good evening, everyone. This is a select board meeting for January 10th, 2022. I'll read tonight's agenda. Under new business, we have AmCare representatives here to review a contract. We need to sign highway mileage certificate, approve meeting minutes from our previous meeting, sign warrants, and Rick Piazzini might be in tonight for the fire department budget. And we need to do some more work on the 2022 budget. Is there anything else that we need to add?
Seth might be coming in too. Seth Patel.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to talk to him this morning, so I usually talk to him on Mondays. All right. So, good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, good. Sort of late, but
That's okay.
blank in time there. So,
Go ahead with
we
it.
had some,
Here, you give me one.
Yeah, there we go. I'll hang those up for you guys. Thank you. So you've been enough for everybody.
thanks.
There. Oh.
So if you don't mind, I have a quick little presentation to go through and then kind of, so first, I'm Will Rosenberg. I am the new owner of AmCare. So I want to just meet you face to face. I think it's always good to meet people and, understand where we're at. Of course, you know Clement Roger, long
Some
time.
people know me. I don't know if you know me or not, but Clement Roger, I used to be with Venusburg Ambulance. I've been with AmCare now for 16 years, I think. Yeah, 16.
Yeah.
So he was the director of operations before Walt retired, and now he's taken over as the full-time director. So all the questions I get hit with all the time is, who's AmCare now? AmCare is still AmCare, all run locally. I don't get into the day-to-day stuff. What I tell people is they don't have to worry about all the back-end stuff, the HR, the payables, the receivables, the billing, all the things that keep you from doing work that are required to do work, the legal stuff, what have you. So all the day-to-day operations still run, locally here. And I know there's some questions about your contract. So I just thought I'd go through a quick little presentation about ambulance billing, then get to the state of the contract, then get to a suggestion I have to see if we can make a win-win for everybody. So it's double-sided, so I apologize. It's a little less on ambulance billings. I think it's not as clear as people would like. I think it's good for everybody to understand ambulance billing who's not in the industry and doesn't live and breathe it. So first thing kind of went through is fixed ambulance costs. These are real costs for AmCare. About $1.5 million annually in payroll. Liability insurance, workers' comp insurance, medical insurance, the numbers in front of you. I'm not going to belabor you with reading them one by one. So basically $1.8 million just before you even run the first call. Just to be ready to run the call, right? And then of course you got your capital cost. An ambulance is about $250,000, only good for about 5 to 7 years. We have of course 6 ambulances. AmCare just got brand new cardiac monitors because the ones they had were 20 plus years old. So as part of my initiative that I promised the Green Mountain Care Board, we would replace all their cardiac monitors. So about $250,000 in cardiac monitors, new ventilators, new pumps. So just another $350,000 on top of the operating costs, about annual capital costs, just to be ready to respond before you even turn a wheel. So next slide, if you will, talks about population and percentage of 911 calls. As you can see, Sheldon's 911 transports, I don't want to confuse transports with calls, about 4.42%, and you have about 9.33% of the population that we currently serve, based on the 2020 census numbers for the 5 towns we serve, which are again listed on that slide. So if you allocate those costs out, you get your 911 calls, your 9.33% of your capital, 9.33% of your fixed costs. To be ready to respond to a call in Sheldon costs about $174,000 a year before the ambulance ever turns a wheel. Don't worry, we're not asking for $174,000. I can get a preview of the next slide. So no one needs to have a heart attack here. So
See my eyes.
you're good. Don't worry. Actually, you're gonna love me by the end of the night. So a little bit on ambulance billing, 101, right? So if you go to the coffee shop and you buy a coffee, and they say it's $2 for the coffee, they're going to expect that you give them $2, or they're not going to give you coffee. Now I know Starbucks, it may be more than $2, but anyway, And two, they're gonna expect that you pay them before they give you the coffee. You're not gonna haggle the price, right? $2 is $2. Now flip the slide, ambulance billing. No ambulance ride is $2, but we'll just use the same $2. Couple problems with ambulance billing. One, nobody pays before they get the service, right? We don't ask for $2 before we get in the back of the ambulance. Two, if you have insurance, your insurance company, Medicare and Medicaid, which are fairly funded, may say, you know, I know it costs $2 to do that ambulance ride. We're only gonna give you $1.01 because it sounds better to us. We like $1.01. Oh, and by the way, we're gonna legally prohibit you from getting the other 99 cents. $1.01 sounds much better to us. And then many people, of course, never pay because they have no insurance, so they've already got the service. And even if they say, oh, we love to pay, we support our local ambulance service, guess what? They never pay the bill. So unlike a cup of coffee where that nice guy who sells coffee is getting paid his $2 and getting it paid every time, and before he serves you the coffee, ambulance billing does not quite work the same way. So that's a lot of people don't understand is that you get very few. We average, next I'm going to get ready to tell you the history. So next slide talks a little about Sheldon. That's the total 911 charges year by year for the past 5 years in the average of $94,000. Total payments, $51,000. So as you can see, for our cup of coffee, we only get 55 cents on the dollar back for what we charge for coffee. That's not a very good return on investment. That means the other 45 cents for every dollar we bill is just lost money. Not unique to Amcare. It's the way the EMS industry works, which is why EMS is having so many, challenges in the healthcare pandemic that we're in. So, actually, I'd probably say we're probably a little higher in the recovery rate than some other places. That's half the story. The other half of the story, if you flip the slide, is the non-billable trips. So, as I said, we have all these trips we go on. As you can see, we went on these many trips. Only about 30% of the people when we show up, remember we paid the money, we come, we show up, we provide you service. You know what, I'm just kidding, I don't want to go to the hospital. 30% of the people we show up to don't want to go to the hospital for various reasons. That could be a bystander calls 911 and we get there and they're not really hurt. It could be a spouse calls 911 and the other spouse is like, I don't want to go to the hospital, for whatever reason. Or people are just obstinate who really need to go to the hospital and just choose to fight us on it and don't go to the hospital. So,
Is this total or Sheldon's?
This is Sheldon.
Just Sheldon only, not billables.
Yeah.
Yep. So 32% of the trips we can't bill for. So then we get to bill for the other 68. And of the other 68, we collect only 55 cents on the dollar. Of the other 68, we do. It's not a very good.
Those, NPA, your car accidents and things like that.
So before I go into the current state, people always ask me, because I know someone's eyes flipped out when I said it costs $170,000 to respond to calls in Sheldon. People say, well, then how do you charge us what you're charging? We do recover 55 cents on the dollar. So there's revenue we get from the transports. So that's why no one's sitting here getting ready to ask for $174,000. So we're all good there. Your current contract, you signed it on 4/1 of 2012. I pulled it and had our counsel review it. It's a 10-year contract. It auto-renewed on October 3rd of 2021 through January 30th of 2027. We got an email requesting bids.
Is it a 10-year or a 5-year?
It was a 10-year.
5-year.
It was 5 years.
Oh, 5 years. I'm sorry.
5 years in it.
5 years in it renewed.
10 with the renewal.
Five years in a
Yep, sorry.
I don't think that's right. I'm pretty sure I pulled these numbers directly from the contract.
I'll pull ours if you want it.
Feel free, because I wrote this right out of the contract. I haven't lost my complete mind, I don't think. Anyway, so on 10/28/21, you requested to get bids, which of course was 25 days after the renewal date. I'm going to wait for her to get that because I'm going to speak candidly and how we get you to a better place and your budget numbers go down this year. Maybe, depending on how we end the conversation.
I want to say, I didn't catch that.
That's right. I would have brought a copy, but I read it pretty clearly. And we can go to the next slide when she pulls it up. So anyway, oh, here we go. She's quicker than I thought.
Yeah, it's a 5-year renewal.
I know it's 5. Can I see that real quick?
That's the one you were talking about, but I got a new one. Or actually, it renewed without any signatures.
All right, so I'm not crazy. As I said, the contract was executed in 2012. It was 10 years, which was like 2022. I thought I had lost my mind.
Didn't it renew every 5 years?
Okay, so I'll rephrase the statement. It was a 2 5-year contracts, 2012 plus 10 gets you to 2022. So my apologies, the way it was worded was not exactly, you've been 2 successive 5 years, correct? Okay, so perhaps not the best wording. So when you started in fiscal year 2013, you were paying $46,100 or $21.58 per capita. I extrapolated backwards for you. And you can roll it all the way out through 2026, fiscal year 2026, which of course would go into 2027. That's where your current contract, this is where it exists today. No funny business, no changes. That's where you are today. So you'd be at $29.90 for the last year of your fiscal year based on the contract you're currently locked into. Because it all renewed for 5 additional years for the total of 15 in this past fall. Let me make sure it gets.
Yep.
And for the per capita, I used census 2020 to use your census. I don't know if it went up or down in 2010 to 2020, just to keep apples to apples, not to monkey with the population of Sheldon.
Yeah.
So that's where you're at. So this year, which would be entering FY 2023, you would be 2657 per capita, 56,745, 79. Everybody on the same page? Because we're going to get to where it's important here. We're about to get to something important here. So, I think you're high on per capita, what I think the appropriate per capita should be. Now, I will say this openly because it's public knowledge. You can read on the town records of Franklin in their open minutes. We know that Enosburg proposed $32 per capita to Franklin. It's in the records. You can read it on the public records. We also know that we proposed 22. It's also in the records. We also know that Franklin went with Enosburg for $32 per capita. So, my proposal to the select board is that we reset the capita and relock it in for 10 years at $22 per capita. I thought it was 10 all along, it was 5 plus 5, so that kind of my mistake, but it's still my proposal. If you do that and you flip to the next slide, which is where it gets relevant, you have the current, and I apologize, this is in color on the slides that I did, and the proposed. I'll give you a hint, the current is the bigger number, the proposed is the smaller number. For those liking the color graph, and I can send this to the town clerk in color. So we have essentially 2 choices. We can keep where we're at, and no harm, no foul, and we will keep honoring the contract for the next 5 years. And we will keep doing great service with our office here in Sheldon. And then in 5 years, you have the opportunity to go to bid, although the clerk's request was a year premature, but we can sort that out. It's okay.
I know, I just didn't want to miss the date.
That's okay. That's okay, right? Or we are making an offer today to reset the whole thing back down to $22 per capita as opposed to $29 per capita you're at, but lock it in for 10 years. So, in case you're not good at math, because I'm not good at math, you flip to the next slide. I did the 5-year delta comparison, because for those of you that wanted to keep it up. So you got the 5-year current cost, nothing else changes. It's 301, 271, 11. Our proposal for the first 5 years of a 10-year would be 254, 5. You get the change. Savings is $50,000 over 5 years, 46 to be exact. So $10,000 a year savings. $100,000 over. And the next slide does the exact same math for you over 10 years and says, what are you going to... Medicare is giving ambulance companies across the country a 5.1% increase January 1st of this year, 2022, because inflation is going through the roof. Okay? Inflation is going through the roof nationwide. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it, and neither you nor I nor anyone sitting in this room can tell me what next year or the following year is going to do. So, while this is a long-term commitment for the select board, you're going to save about $100,000 from where you're at today, 86 and change to be completely transparent. And you know where your costs are for the next 10 years. Why would I do this? Because someone's going to ask that exact question. The answer is very simple. We built a building in Sheldon. Walt Cruel built a building in Sheldon. Okay? I have a 10-year lease with Walt Cruel for that building. It does me no good to have that building and not have Sheldon. So, because I wouldn't give this offer to any other town. I'm being as transparent as you'll ever get from me, right? Yeah. So, I'm offering to save you $86,000, but know that I'm locked into your town with the building that I have sitting in the middle of your town for the next 10 years. And that's why. So that's my proposal to the select board. We would drop it immediately, so it would be in the April, April's when your budget takes effect. It's not, this is delayed, your rate would drop roughly $10,000 a year starting April, in exchange for a long-term agreement. So the way I look at it, all agreements should be a win-win in life. The win I get, it's a long-term deal. The win you get, you just saved $86,000, and you get the bid you essentially wanted this year, because transparently, I'm sorry, you can stop.
No, you're good.
He's
You're good.
one of our board members.
Okay. Transparently, I put the same number out to every town that asked me for a bid this year. You're gonna find some of the other services, the bids were all up and down and up and down. There's nothing to hide. The same number I put to you at $22 per capita, it's the same number I put across the board to the 4 towns that requested bids from me. Now, the capita was a little different, but the price was the same. I don't believe that you monkey around with price. I mean, price is what you think it should be, and capita is what capita is. So, I'm here to answer questions. I hope I made it as clear as I could on the slides, but that's essentially, what my proposal is to you guys. Welcome.
Sorry.
You're good. You have a presentation, I think, underneath yours. Or we can give you one. You can give yours. Oh, he has one.
How is your staffing?
Staffing has been going up for the past 3 weeks. So Christmas time, when I was here for the holiday party, I announced a 30% across the board raise to all of our employees, roughly 28%, 20.2%. And we've probably brought in 10, 12 staff members in the past 3 weeks.
Quite a few, and I'm expecting that within a couple of weeks, I'm gonna have enough for all 4 of my trucks and maybe more.
Yeah, we're looking to staff maybe up to 5 trucks a day now, staffed ALS, so healthcare is in a crisis with staffing, period. There's no, you don't turn on the news to read that, right? So when I took over the company, I found that, God bless him, the previous owner was woefully paying for 16 hours a day for staff instead of 24. And the rates I felt weren't competitive with the nationwide. So we made a small increase last December, and I made a commitment to the staff. So officially the acquisition went through on July 15th, for those of you who watch the news, even though it was contemplated and discussed December last year. So after really getting 6 months with our hands around the books and making sure we knew where we were at, it became abundantly clear to me that the only way to get the best staff out there is to pay the best in the county. And we now pay probably $2 an hour more per person than the rest of the county. I want the best people. We train the hardest. We buy the best equipment. We have the best ambulances, and we're going to provide the best service. We've made dispatching infrastructures. We put GPS and AVL in the vehicles so we can track them. We put road safety or Samsara artificial intelligence cameras in there to provide safe, transports to the crews and for the patients. I'm in this. I'm all in this for the rest of my life, and I didn't do this halfway. So. Then the state's not going to produce more EMTs in a short period, neither is the county. We've tried, so if you can't produce them, you might as well steal them. So, look, it's the healthcare business we're in right now. I got to be honest with you, no holds
Nature of
barred.
the business.
No,
Same everywhere, hospitals and,
Yeah.
So instead of waiting until we kept creeping, I just chopped it off and said fine, and we've been doing just fine.
you pulled the Band-Aid off.
I ripped the
We
Band-Aid
did,
off, yes.
We did, and I've had an influx. I'm interviewing people on a daily basis these days, and I'm seeing a bright future. Whereas at one point we were really up and down, and I've been in EMS for 30 some odd years, and I've seen those numbers go up and down and up and down. I think with the rates we have now, I'm not going to see that anymore, because there's not the town next door that's offering $2 an hour more. The grass is always greener on the other side, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're gonna have to take a big bite if they want, if they want their grass to be greener, it's gonna cost them a lot of money.
And of course, beyond that, right, we're offering, matching 401ks, healthcare benefits, dental benefits, some of the things that just people can't do. And that's one of the great part that we've been able to bring to the employees of AmCare. The more and more employees you have, the larger pool you have to pull for health insurance and 401ks and stuff like that. So they get the benefit of if a group, a group of about 400 employees, all said and done.
Now, at the end of the 10, is it automatically gonna roll into the next one, or are we
you
gonna?
can 10 years from now is a long time. You
Yeah.
can put whatever you want in the contract. I didn't write this contract, guys. I just bought it just like you guys did.
Yeah.
So, I typically don't like contracts that auto renew because you want to be able to get to it. Otherwise, I'm boxing myself in as much as I'm boxing you in. So, I'm open to discussion of how you'd want that. I mean, at some point in time, you want some kind of notice period, right? You don't want the day before me telling you that I'm leaving, or the day before I don't want you telling me you're kicking me out, right? We all need to be sensible about the whole thing. But I've always been fair about everything. That's the way I operate. See, her eyes got big. She thought I was going to ask for a big increase, and I just offered you a big decrease.
Yeah, she's grinning in there.
That's why I'm wearing them.
But that's,
She doesn't have a good poker face, so she tries to hide it. So.
There you go.
Oh no, I've met him a couple times. He knows that poker face.
Yeah.
well, Will and I talked for a while, and we're still trying to figure out where Walt got his numbers from, and how he worked his numbers. And
Yeah, I think you were high all along, to be honest with you.
it didn't make a whole lot of sense.
So I just leveled the field across the board. And that's why I said, the only reason I mentioned Franklin, not to compare any town to another, is just that you could read your minutes and the number is the same. I'm as transparent as they get.
I think overall Sheldon's been happy with our service over the years. I don't think I've had
No,
any
I
complaints.
think it's been
I
good.
think as a town as a whole, we've been very pleased with the service.
We strive to be that way, and
Yeah.
there's obviously times when we have hurdles, but that's always, it's in any business.
Because I was on the board when Walt came to build the building, and yeah, that was, we switched to AmCare before that, right?
I
Just a
think so.
little bit before that.
Just a little bit before that. And,
That was
Yeah.
not a good time to be around him, though.
what's
Well,
that?
Sheldon wasn't too bad. When he was rebuilding St. Albans, it was not a good time to be around. He was not a happy man.
That was a tough project.
The St. Albans one?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
yeah. I worked on that, so it was.
You worked on that? With who?
I worked for Connors.
Oh, my, really?
Yeah. I wasn't the one in charge there. Jason was, but I spent some time there a few different times.
It was.
It was.
Every wall they opened was
Yeah.
not good. You should have thrown that thing down.
We didn't. We got around some loopholes by doing it the way we did it. So.
Yeah, you did.
Any other questions I can answer for you? It can be about this proposal, it can be about AmCare, it can be about me. I'm here, open book for you. I flew in, I'm here for your benefit.
How many times a month do you fly out?
So apparently in budget season, on a frequent basis.
I just saw you before Christmas.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Well, I was here for the Christmas party. Well, I mean, in complete transparency, it was for the Franklin board, and then the Christmas party was Friday night. So I plan on being here for the Christmas party. More in the past 2 months than I had on a regular basis, I suppose.
Now, how many other ambulance services do you own?
Two other ambulance services. So a little bit about me, I'll give you the 30-second spiel.
Okay, sure.
Grew up in Maryland, moved to Syracuse to get my bachelor's, got my bachelor's in biology from Syracuse. Was going to med school, had a couple traumatic events, including a head bleed in college that, long story short, didn't end up with the grades to get into med school. Got my paramedic, I lived in Syracuse, worked in the city of Syracuse as a paramedic. Moved down back to Maryland where my dad had died to be with my mom, taking care of mom. Got my MBA, ended up working for an ambulance company. When I started, I had 2 ambulances and 4 employees. Called Butler Medical Transport. As the previous owner will tell you, I ruined his hobby because it was just for fun. He was a builder. And when I bought the company this July, it was actually 14 days before the acquisition of AmCare, ironically. It had all been working. It was regulatory things as well. We have 81 ambulances and about 310 employees. So he tells me I ruined his hobby. I've been there 19 years. So I've really run the company for the past 6 years, although he owned it. And then I also own a small service in Berwyn, New Hampshire that we acquired last December. Actually, in complete transparency, I guess I own 4 Best Care ambulances on the eastern shore of Maryland. It's kind of run as our Butler operation, but it was a separate acquisition. So I guess 4 is the correct. 3 other ones, 4 in total is the correct answer. So
What led you to Vermont, if you don't mind me asking?
absolutely not. The smart ass answer would be the airplane. But the short answer is the broker that brokered the deal for Best Care Ambulance that we did 3 years ago this coming April on the Eastern Shore Best Care Ambulance was the broker that Walton hired to sell his company. So he kind of wrote me in, and said, hey, come look at this. It's similar to Best Care that you bought and what have you. And we'd already, the New Hampshire acquisition had already been a conversation. So it was like, oh, the Northeast. And truth be told, as I said, I lived in Syracuse for about 8 years, and I would go back tomorrow, except for my wife would divorce me. So I don't get to move back to the Northeast. So being able to spend more time doing work in the Northeast to me is cool because I like the weather, I like snow, and it's my way to get back to the Northeast.
He likes snow.
I don't mind snow.
I wanna go to Maryland.
It's the wind chill.
Yeah, so the funny story of the day is I didn't check the weather before I flew up here. So I have shorts packed to wear home on the plane tomorrow. So I'll be a little chilly going to the airport in the morning, I think.
He will too. Of course, he's 10 stones tonight, must be. Yeah. I haven't heard that in so long. I go home and all I listen to is Anchor. Nobody else. I don't want to hear anybody else. What do you guys think?
So do you have a contract written up that we can review?
I mean, I can send it to you. I mean, we've took Walt's template and modified it a little bit. It's pretty much close to what you have. Just our attorney made some legalese changes to it. You know, nothing. I don't believe in long, lengthy 50-page contracts. The only people that win there is the lawyers. So I'm good with 2 or 3 pages. And it, again, the one we used recently is similar to, very similar, within maybe 4 lines of what Walt was using. There's some ambiguity in his that, like this timeline. You know, most people say by this date. They don't use 180 days and strange things. So there's no confusion. You know what the date is.
Exactly.
So I can certainly send it to the town clerk or whoever you wish. Tomorrow or Wednesday at latest.
Yeah, if you can, I think I'm saying send us what you have and we can,
Yeah,
I mean, that's my thoughts. But again, I'm just one.
Send it to me.
Okay.
because this proposal sounds good. I mean, if we can save money and keep you guys in town, keep our service the way it's been, then I think it's a win-win for everybody.
And that's the way I look at it. All agreements should be with,
I only see it growing and getting better, not regressing. I think, in the long run, we're gonna see more and more changes and better.
I don't know about your budget, but I'm sure you could use $10,000 to play with in the budget.
Yeah, we could do more than that.
Well, maybe somebody else will come this afternoon.
Every little bit helps.
But I doubt when I walked in here, you thought I was going to offer to give you $10,000 back to your budget. So
Yeah.
So.
No, not at all.
All right. If there's nothing else, I'll let you continue on your budget.
Top budget, we can have fun with numbers.
Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.
Nice meeting you.
Nice meeting you again.
Thanks for taking the time to come in.
Absolutely. You want these extra copies or?
Yeah.
Here you go, man. Thank you.
Have a safe trip.
Thank you.
You too.
Yes.
Here, you want to put that away too? You don't want that one, right? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a good night, guys.
See ya.
Good night.
The next year, the contract, that sounds pretty good to me.
Squeaky wheel.
So Nick, if you basically look at the third to last page is the most important one.
Yeah.
The proposal to tell what it would have been and what it is.
Okay. I guess we'll wait for Rick or Seth to come in.
Rick, I do have Rick's, budget
Okay.
in the budgets. I have
The new budgets?
in those numbers.
These numbers. Okay. That's good. So he might not come in.
He said-
He gave you
He
the
sent
numbers.
it to me, but I thought he was coming, but
Yep.
maybe not.
Oh, that's all right. I'll let you give us something to start with. Did you look at this? Is there any, we're good? All the fernwood and all
They
that
fixed-
stuff's been added previous years.
They fixed it last year, but I'll check again to make sure it's.
I just, we don't have any new roads. So.
I think it was added last year.
Yeah.
We had a
Remember,
correction,
we
but
had
let me-
a council last year.
I think we double checked and triple checked. So we're talking about it.
I will read the meeting minutes from the previous meeting. Select Board Water Commissioner meeting minutes from December 27th of 2021. President Stephen Dodd, Seth Hungerford, Nick Norris, David Plubit, Kim Dufresne, and Jeff Patel. At 7:30, I called the meeting to order and read the agenda. Additions made to discuss sheriff's contract and an executive session at the end of the regular meeting. We signed warrants 2149 and 2150. Select Board appointed Diane Crane to the Rail Trail Committee, and the board appointed me as the Sheldon rep for the Northwest Solid Waste Committee. We signed a new resolution for People's Trust Company. Signed an errors and omissions for the 2021 grand list. Board approved Jeff Patel's bid for roadside mowing for 2 years. I read the meeting minutes from December 13th. Seth motioned to accept as read, seconded by David, and all in favor. We discussed the sheriff's contract. Sheriff's Department has not been covering the contracted hours. The board will begin accepting requests for proposal services. Highway Department updated, the Highway Department updated me that the overhead doors at the garage were installed and the radiator had been replaced on the 2021 truck. We set 2022 budget meetings, 6:30, January 3rd, January 10th, and January 24th. 8 o'clock, Nick motioned to enter into executive session. At 8:45, we exited executive session and we discussed the highway department. 8:45, motion to adjourn, seconded by David, and all in favor. The meeting adjourned. Get a motion to accept these minutes as read.
I'll make a motion.
Second on that.
I'll second it.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
We have a certificate for highway mileage for the year ending February 10th of 2022.
Is total mileage 60.671? For 1, 2, and 3.
60.671, yeah. And then class 4 is
2.74
4.
and 2.16.
We're good?
Okay.
Alright, so in the town of Sheldon and class 1 roads, we don't have any because those are state roads. Class 2 roads, we got 15.99 miles. We should just get one more tenth there somewhere, we could have even numbers. Stretch one of those roads a little. Class 3, we have 28.87. There's 15.81 of state highway in the town for a total of 60.671. We have 2.74 of class 4 roads and 2.06 illegal trails. So we don't have any changes for this year, so you can sign this, right? It says signatures of selectmen and aldermen. Oh, okay.
I signed below.
I thought it was the clerk. Just sign in that box or sign down on the line, 'cause that's where Kim signs, I guess. What else we got? This is our new common level appraisal.
Yeah, it didn't go as bad as I thought.
No.
Can you sign this? Just don't sign it on sign the back signers.
See, we see it on the news or somewhere, there's a bunch of towns.
County
that are
Courier had it, I think. I
having
think
to do
there's,
it for it. We're still at 185, so
So we're good.
we're good for a while. Let's keep going.
But you thought it was gonna be a lot closer.
I thought it was a lot closer.
Wonder why that is.
Pretty high before all this, we were at 104.
We were at 104 in 2016.
So, that probably helped us.
It has to be what, 987?
Recently.
87.
Do you know what truck the recaps went on? Says Tom Ryan put recaps on one of the trucks.
If you look,
We can say
It
what's.
says all trucks.
I can tell you if I can see the general ledger paper on the front. I'll be able to tell you which truck. It's not in yet.
Not in. ETA?
It's ordered.
No, I know how everything is right now. It's like, meh. Shows up.
But we got ordered ribbon for our recording machine. Next day. We ordered it the afternoon, the next day I had it. I was like, what is this box? A little tiny box. No, I need the other one. I need the other piece of the paper that I made. To keep making you run around.
Like just a little piece of paper stapled to another one.
It's another Tom.
Yep, right there.
Oh,
Did you read that?
5 caps. We had it on the 1 ton and then it's crossed out and says, oh, I don't know. I don't think it's then I'll tell you what.
I thought Corey just put all new tires
No,
on
the budget.
the 1 ton.
The 5 recaps. Is it gonna go on all, unless we put one on each truck?
Are those ones he bought from, what's his name there?
It went into highway miscellaneous, is where that's coded to. I don't know. I don't know what they are. 5 caps.
Where do you get them?
Tom Ryan.
He said he was getting some tires, I don't know if they're summer one.
But why 5?
I don't know.
Odd number.
I'll ask him.
Yeah,
Go up tonight, I'll call him.
yeah, he said he might come in tonight. Yeah. Oh, this is yours.
There he is now.
That's Rick. That's Rick.
Eric, come on in. There we go. Good. Fire department.
What's that?
How's things at the fire department? Good. 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 said you got some numbers, you already gave her some budget numbers?
I did, but I updated it based off of, I had a couple of mistakes on it.
Okay.
You wanna see that now, or?
Yeah.
Let's see.
That's the newest.
Is that the newest one, Nick, or is that from last time?
The new number at the bottom.
No,
Sorry.
this is the budget, can put it off tonight with the changes that we made last time.
No, those numbers on the side I pushed over.
Okay.
So what it was, basically is what we actually had for expenses.
Is there an, actually, there's one right here. I have them in. Second, please.
I didn't even get my glasses
Thought you brought them.
on.
I have them. Because I put the numbers in that on the outside.
You put those in, so it should add up to that number,
I have,
should add up to 211 and some change.
I'm good right now.
I have 204.
I'll wait till you put it down, put it in your pocket.
204, 217, but I changed the few things we had, like dispatching. You have a higher number than that. Well,
Right,
on
because
that.
they keep on going up.
Yeah. No, we figured out what we did, we put some of your dispatching.
Yeah,
Invoices in dispatching, they probably should have went into, radio. Okay.
oh, that's possible, I'm just basing it off of, yeah,
But yeah, so that number I changed.
okay.
I have 13,392. Oh, you have it there. So just check
So
that.
that's the actual number you're gonna have, Kim, the 13?
Yes.
Are you sure about that? I thought their rates are going up again.
We split it, they gave us a 2-year contract last time.
From the city?
Dispatching.
No, okay. Sorry if everyone asked, it's just fogging up the brown glasses.
You don't have that one on, you can have. Yeah, just check mine.
Which number did you change? Dispatching? Okay.
So the cost of the phone and so forth was like 4,500, that went up. It isn't phone basically as much as it's a dedicated line for telecommunications for our new equipment.
Mhm.
So that's, I don't know how the heck you want to word it, but it sounds like we have a very expensive phone bill, but that's not the case. Well,
Okay.
I guess technically it is, but.
So is that something that they changed, Rick, or what?
Part of that simulcast system that we got, it was one of these expenses that wasn't very well explained to us that we were gonna have to incur, and that's with a discount that we got.
Okay.
So yeah, so it's a dedicated line, I think it's like a little over $200 a month for that dedicated line. Truck repairs are up, and we still didn't even finish what we need to. We have to replace springs on one of the trucks, so we propose changing truck repairs to up to 12,000.
Okay.
Didn't I?
Yep, you got that right. Yep.
I know Raymond sent me for your grant writer. Did you include that anywhere in here?
No, that's not in here. The grant right
Building repairs is up a little, is that, you got some projects that need to be done in there or something?
We do, primarily the overhead doors are down, actually, the hinges are falling out on the doors, and one of the sections almost fell on the truck. So, yeah, I don't understand why they fall, well, you know, it's whatever the insulation is, and then they got little pieces of tin, and they're only held together with like, not like live bolts, but, anyway, very small, they're not bolts, they're just like screws that are holding those hinges on, so everything's, obviously the doors get open.
Yeah, yeah. So is that 2,500 gonna be enough to cover all that stuff?
I don't know, we haven't gotten a bill because this, you know, just, we noticed the problem, we called for service, and they haven't been there yet to fix it.
Oh, okay.
You're anticipating that it's gonna
Do you
be,
think they're gonna have to be changed, or do you think you can just be fixed?
I'm thinking that they can be fixed, but
Yeah.
the other thing was, we should have a credit, I don't know if we got one yet from the grant that we got for hydrants.
That came in last.
Was that?
We
You
got
did?
it, we got it end of December, yeah.
Okay. So, that should be a credit towards doing the next 3 hydrants or whatever.
That wasn't for that last hydrant we just did?
No, it was 15, it's like 5,000 per hydrant, we should have got like $15,000. or thereabouts.
No, I don't think we got that one.
Okay, we should be getting that. So other than that, you know, realistically, you know, the cost of living and everything else has gone up. I mean, we're still trying to replace bottles and air packs. We're hoping to get a grant. We keep on applying for grants, but things just aren't where we expect them to be.
What is the equipment replacement? What was that one?
That was an equipment replacement fund that was created for a truck, big expenses or whatever, but that was
No,
kind
it's
of,
the 21,000. At the bottom of your sheet.
at the bottom of here.
On your sheet, you had it.
Oh, yeah. So we need to replace hose and so forth. So this is what we put in a couple of years ago.
That was
Or a
our
year ago?
grant, the grant, that's replacing the grant we did for the tower, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
That was the only one I noticed.
So you have nothing listed for hydrant repair expenses or for budgeting and so forth, so that's.
Did you have any in here? You had the dry hydrant,
Right, 5,000.
yeah, but I don't see any other hydrant repairs.
No, I'm just trying to figure out the difference, so that's one,
Right.
obviously that's one of them to make up the difference between your 204 and my 211. I mean, I could go through it closer.
Yeah, I mean, that dry hydrant expense and hydrant repair, I mean, is that
I think
be
some,
just one budget line there? Under
Well, that was-
hydrants and,
Well, that's the whole bigger question, who's responsible for the hydrants, technically.
yeah,
Being that they feed a sprinkler system, you know, I still have reservations about the fire department taking that over for that respect, just because it's a liability. I don't think it makes a lot of sense for the fire department to be maintaining a hydrant system per se. It's more like a,
we don't have nothing to do with that sprinkler system. The town of Sheldon.
you required it, the state of Vermont required it in the buildings, though. That's the issue. So it shouldn't fall on the fire department, if so, we need a bigger line item, so.
But the town didn't take that over, so if there's repairs for that, they're gonna have to repair it.
Well, they were gonna refuse to repair that, so it's in our best interest to keep it.
Well, that would be them against their own liability, right? Could the
They don't,
town,
they could care less about it themselves. It's more of a service, a community, whatever you wanna call it, a community. Whatever
Yes.
phrase I'm looking for, it's good for the welfare of the community.
in the height, and you're, the only sprinkler we have is the one that's at Amcare you're talking about.
No, the fire station as well.
On the fire station, actually.
Right, so I mean, realistically, if they shut that down, we have no sprinkler system in the fire station. Which is a liability.
If the mill or West Rock shuts it down.
Well, if we don't fix the hydrants, they're gonna shut down the line. If we don't fix the breaks and the lines and all that, that's what I mean, the maintenance of the lines need to be taken care of.
And what other ones do we need to fix? Just the other one on Mill Street?
There's two more on Mill Street. I think around Norris's old house and one back.
One across from the post office.
Yeah, the post
Yeah.
office.
Yeah.
And where's the other
The
one?
one's already been changed on the other side of 105.
Up higher?
Yep.
Is there another one?
Yeah,
There's
he's
two
saying
or
that
three
part
right
must
there.
be by Dolly's.
I thought
Between
there was
Dolly
just
and
the one
Norris?
by the church that's just fixed.
I'm thinking the one by the
The one
post
right by
office.
the
I'll
trail.
look again.
Yeah,
Across.
I think we fixed, well, we
There's
We
fixed
fixed
two.
one, the one by the church.
Well, we
That's
fixed
it.
the
Those
other
are
one on
there, got
105.
taken out.
And we fixed the one by the
That
church.
used to be, I believe.
And now there's two more then. There's two more on that one, right there.
Okay.
Well, that's another debate to get into at some point in time, what we're doing with it, or how we're gonna deal with it.
Yeah.
Cause you're talking about the water line that comes out of the mill that services the two sprinkler systems and those hydrants down there. I just wanna make sure I'm clear with what I'm
Yep,
understanding.
there's multiple hydrants actually. not-
Yeah, well, I mean, just, we're, the two that are in repair, I know there's multiple ones, I just wanna make sure I'm on the same
Yep.
Yeah.
page.
See, that line goes up from the mill, goes up by the church well, it goes right up Mill Street.
Yeah,
And then it crosses 105 and then it just stops right there,
It
right?
stops at,
That last
Cross
hydrant
from
on the
there.
other side of the main road.
I think the difference
But it's
is
also-
the insurances.
Ampere's tied into it for their sprinkler system and the fire station's tied into it for their sprinkler.
but it's owned by,
Well,
it was owned by
It's-
the mill and supposedly was given to the town, but that's, you know, whether, nobody can find any records of it though, so.
There's
Because
no
at one
paperwork.
Lorraine
time,
maintains the pump system and because it's hooked up to their sprinkler or whatever system they have. But, yeah, I guess the town's responsible for the line and the hydrants that go up through there.
Yeah, the other differences are in
Which
insurances.
we've changed two of them now.
I don't,
We did the one last year.
Yeah,
on
the
this
correct
side,
numbers are
and we did this year, we
in the
did
budget now,
one
but
that
they're different than your,
yeah.
they're lower than your proposed budget.
okay.
We can talk about
But
that.
the line itself, what's that line made out of? Dick?
Wood.
No,
There is wood, but it's not wood. I mean,
it's iron. It's
is it
done
all
now, iron.
cast?
Yeah, or cast iron.
Stuff you look at it just wants to break.
That's why they had trouble with that
By the church.
new one when they put it in there, they had trouble with it leaking.
It
It was
was,
good you had to dig it back up a couple different times.
it was encased in concrete too. I think
Yeah.
someone, it was hit one time, I believe. So they encased it in concrete, so it was a mess.
So it wouldn't move. Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to do some more research on that and figure it out. I mean, it's in the town's best interest to keep that line usable and everything and.
I mean, there's gonna be a point in time where I'm sure that, you know, there might be a bigger failure, then we're just gonna have to bite
Right.
the bullet and just say, well, whatever.
What is that, 3 inch? Through there, or 2?
Is it 8 inch?
It's either 6
I
or
thought
8
it's
inches, it's a
4.
lot of water. It's over 1,000 gallons a minute. Well over 1,000 gallons a minute. You theoretically could replace a fire truck with each one of those hydrants. That's how much water they move.
Yeah.
This
I
is
think you should take it down on Sheldon. I think that's your second.
I wonder if Good Hughes Bill would have what size pipe that is. Do you think Scott's bill would have what size pipe that was when he fixed it?
Well, Hubert would know because they changed the other one on the other side of the road. Plus he had to order one for this one, so he would know what size pipe that is.
Probably 6.
So you think these are good numbers to keep you running smooth for the year?
I just wanna see where the difference is, or which lines are different, whatever, you
It's your
know.
insurances.
The insurance is how much difference.
Big
Um,
question is this one.
you have,
That one may be more. Which one's the line, overhead doors?
Well, yeah.
on your
I mean, it's not like we're gonna lock these in.
liability insurance,
And he gets an idea by
that one's higher. But the building insurance is $13.79, you have 16. Workers' comp, you have $32.57,
Yeah.
that's $16.74.
And is that low?
Yeah,
Okay.
They're pretty,
at least that's what our bill said.
Okay.
So that's your difference, but
Okay.
it's not that much of a difference, but everything else. So,
yeah,
And then
9,000.
adding some money in for the hydrant repair, or
could
fixing.
you put
1,100
8 in
on, 11,
Well, like I said, I have it in mind, that's why I was wondering.
Where's your
four
hydrant?
line items.
The 5,000.
It's not that bad,
I have that in there,
you know.
I think.
Yeah, you got
Yeah,
zero.
I have dry hydrant 5,000.
Oh, sorry, okay.
How's the job as town health officer?
Dealing with people, that's always fun. That's all good. It's been, this year is, knock on wood, has been smoother than last year. Less dog bites, less complaints in all actuality. And.
More cats this year.
What's
It
that?
seems like there's more cat bites.
Well, yeah, there is. That is a ferret bite. Someone's keeping weasels, I guess. But other than that, no, it's been smooth and knock on wood, like I said, quiet.
Check your numbers and let me know.
Yeah, I will. I just wanna make sure we're not short anywhere, really
Mhm.
short anywhere, but, okay.
Did you want 5,000 for dry hydrants and 5,000 for like that regular hydrant line from the pulp mill? Is that
Well,
what
we
you're
should
thinking?
have, like I said, we should have a check that came in or coming in for around 15,000 to cover the other two
Okay.
hydrants. One to backfill, or for this one, we get reimbursed for, per se, and then two more.
Okay.
But that's not in any of these numbers.
I think we got reimbursed for one. One came in for like $5,000 or 4,000.
Okay. And we did get approved for the other two, but this was, I thought it was supposed to be a total check of 15,000.
I'll send
That,
you,
I haven't seen the check, so.
I'll send you a copy of the one we have.
Strictly talking budget tonight?
No. No, we have official town meeting business, official meeting business. This just breaks it up a little bit, Rick, you know.
Yeah, I'm sure.
How's your, working relationship with Amcare? Good?
Yeah,
Good.
yeah.
We just spoke with them about, renewing a contract, so I just, I don't know how it's going.
Yep, no, that's been going good. Other than the last call that we had there, or the last fatality that we had, which created a lot of controversy and a lot of questions on responsibilities and things like that because people weren't available. Part of the issue with not having the road stand timely has created a big issue for ambulance service and quite frankly got me really upset. But we can talk about that. either on or off camera, depending on what
We
you guys
can
wanna
go
talk about.
into executive if you want for that.
Yeah, sure. If you want.
I'll make a motion to go into executive for a quick moment.
Can I second it? Alright. Back into, regular meeting, we were in executive session to speak about employees and contact numbers. Alright, we're back in our regular meeting, we've got, agenda done, we signed warrants, right, yeah. So, work on budget stuff, we can do that with in an open meeting, right, because it's part of our meeting. Or do we adjourn for the evening?
Whatever.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Okay.
I'll second it.
Adjourn. A second, all in favor of adjourning for the evening?
All right.
Aye.
I guess the meeting's adjourned.